Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to the videos of the paid request. It's time for Joseph. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested, request any type of reviews, topics, commentaries, re-reviews, whatever the case may be, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both things are down below in the info box. I don't know why I'm starting over my words. It's like, did too far ahead. My tongue can't catch up. So, getting back on track. What he wanted me to review today is The Strange Vice of Mrs. Wardh. Now, it's spelled like it's Worth, but I think it's supposed to be pronounced Mrs. Wardh. Came out in 1971. It is a giallo movie. Now, I did not grow up with giallo films. I didn't. Horror films, I grew up more with like Nightmare on Elm Street movies and, creature feature films. The Blah remake, later on John Carpenter's The Thing, George Romero's Dawn of the Dead, Critters 1 and 2, and then 3 and 4, and Ghoulies 2 and 3, and Watchers 2, like more creature feature stuff I grew up with more. And then some slasher films. Some horror films like The Exorcist 3, the 1990 Jacob's Ladder film. Like those are more the horror I grew up with. So giallos, I have no connection to it personal wise. Now, I've seen a couple of them throughout the years. Some Argento stuff. I did like Deep Red. I would say that is easily my favorite of the giallo films. I thought they had all the right beats. I like the lead guy. I think his name is David Hemmings. You think? Yeah, because I'm bad with names. But I like the lead guy. I like the way that was shot. I like the little mystery of finding all these the hidden rooms in this dilapidated building. It has some good gore in there. Beautiful music. Deep Red hit all the right notes for me. I don't mind his Suspiria movie. What was it? Phenomena. It was weird and quirky enough. And I like Jennifer Connelly, Donald Pleasance. I did enjoy that one. I wouldn't say I'm a diehard giallo fan, though. Because a lot of times the stories seem kind of familiar, which I know is stupid because you say the same thing with slasher films, but again, maybe because I grew up more with those kind of movies, same with creature features. And a lot of the characters I could really care a jack squat about. Like even the characters in here, you have Julie, you have her husband, they go to Vienna for a vacation. At times, she has dreams of her ex-lover who was into some S&M stuff with her. Does seem like she liked a bit of either pain or blood, whatever the case may be. Then she also had, and her ex-lover's gotten out of jail, so she's getting these flowers, and she thinks it's from her ex. But then on top of that, there's another person in her life, her best friend's cousin, that she has an infatuation with. So there's her husband that seems like their love life is at a standstill. There's her ex where she has these crazy dreams. Which is that's definitely where the style comes into play is these dreams because the backgrounds is this black void. The uses of slow-mo, like he breaks this glass. I think it's the pieces of glass that fall onto her and she gets scared but she gets excited about it. But then also there's this new lover she has where they make it on the couch and among other stuff. Meanwhile, there is this killer clad in black with a razor killing people one by one. And Julie seems to think this killer is one of the people in her life. One of those three. The ex-lover, the current husband, or maybe she doesn't really think it's the new boyfriend, but you as an audience, when it's supposed to be a mystery, you're always looking at the possible suspects. And to be perfectly honest, I didn't really care about the movie because I didn't care about the story. I didn't care about the characters. Julie was just a harlot, a harlequin that just loved to have. Hey, we all love to have sex, but you're married, and it's like you seem like you're just a horny lady that loves to have sex with everybody. It's like you have these weird dreams that you don't like but you do like of your ex. You have your husband who's really not doing much of anything. You have your new lover that you guys are going on dates on, and you say you can't, but then you ultimately can. She's your easy. And then once while a murder happens with this guy with the razor. And the murder scenes are kind of mediocre. There's not a whole lot of big pieces of gore in this, like Dario Argento ones. There's one where this movie opens, like, listen, I think it's by an airport, but it's like cut so sporadically you can't tell what's happening. There's someone in the shower that gets hit in the throat and she crumbles down. It does try to have some twists and turns like a lot of these giallo films. But the lead girl didn't do much for me. I thought she was alright at best. The story beats, it just felt very familiar with a lot of giallo films. I guess this is your cup of tea, then this is more of what you like. The murder scenes seem very quaint, and I would say below average compared to other Argento didn't do this, but compared to other giallo films. And it's kind of just her kind of wandering around, paranoid about her ex, having weird dreams about her ex, succumbing to the advances of her best friend's cousin, giving more flowers. She has sex with the guy and he's squeezing her ass. And kind of rinse and repeat. The one thing I will say that I thought was wonderful was the music. The music in the film was exquisite. Love the score to this. And I realized that the score of this was very familiar. And I realized why. If you watch Kill Bill Volume 2, the scene with Michael Madsen talking with David Carradine, Michael Madsen's character Bud talking with Bill, and Michael Madsen's talking about how that lady deserves her revenge. And you have this guy, which I remember liking that piece of music. Didn't realize it was from this movie. So that's where Quentin Tarantino got it from, this movie. And I guess he's a big fan of the movie, I would assume. I'm not. But I did like that music. I just see why you would use that. It's a really nice, hauntingly melody type of piece of music. But that's really the only thing I got out of this. I mean, just why should I root for this lady who likes to cheat on her husband, and even though she has this ex, but then she's secretly getting thrilled by it as well, and just seems like a horny weirdo. That's what I thought of the lead girl. She's a horny weirdo. So I don't really care about her. The other people with the heavily dubbed, everybody's heavily dubbed, so it's hard to judge their acting when everyone's such a big old dub job. So it's hard for me to view their acting because the dub gets in the way of their acting. Again, the gore is nothing too crazy or over the top. The murders are meh. The characters are kind of shitty. But the twist, spoilers. At one point, this guy with a razor attacks our lead character Julie in this garage, and she's adamant that the razor killer's now after her as someone she knows. Well, the razor killer goes after another victim. The victim kills him. Our lead character sees this on the news, reads it. Oh, wow, I don't have anything to worry about. But then she gets flowers. So it wasn't the razor killer after, it was someone else pretending to be that razor killer. So spoilers, you find out that her ex-lover drugs her, tries to make it seem like she ended her own life, but she's able to make it to the hospital, but they pronounce that she's dead. You find out that the ex-lover was working with the husband of Julie, but then the husband of Julie shoots that guy, And you then find out that the husband of Julie is working with the lover of Julie because if by this point Julie's best friend had died, who was the lover's cousin, I guess they both seduce the lady. They both kill the other person, or this plan where Julie's husband and then Julie's lover, who is her best friend's cousin, by making it seem like this razor killer did it, they kill these two women. The cousin gets Julie's best friend's money that the uncle, whoever left them, and then Julie's husband gets all the money that she had. And this, it's almost like Strangers on the Train or some other bit where we work together and we'll get this money when these ladies die. Well, they come to find out that Julie isn't dead. The cops lied about it to see if one of these men has something to do with it, and lo and behold, they do. So the cops are there, they're driving, they swerve off the road, crash and burn. Julie walks away, gets to her car, sees this Hanson guy, immediately gets infatuated with him, and then, like, she hasn't learned her lesson. She sees one guy and immediately is hooked on him, and then goes on her merry way. So that's another thing, like, the lead character doesn't really do anything to stop the killer, to fight the killer, to end things, to be proactive. Like, she's a victim, and by the end, she was a victim that by fate she survived, and the cops come up with this scenario. And then these cops who you barely know, or they're barely characters, they drive our bad guys to their death, so it's not like the lead girl had anything to do with it. So she seems like a fly on the wall and just very weak-willed, weak-minded. Like, maybe that's why I prefer slasher films, because at least the ladies, like, she really turns the terror train. She has the ability to fight back, and you get more of this back and forth with the victim and the killer, and a bit more a struggle or a fight. A little bit of action. So, like, the mystery I didn't care about, the story I didn't care about, the characters I didn't care about, the murders I thought was very meh. But I would say the music. The music was very good, so chalk this up to someone who just not big in the giallo, so of course I'm sure everybody else, they love it and they would call it a favorite. I'll give credit to some of the daydreams that the girl had. There's some style to it, and bits of slow-mo, decently used. Again, the music is on par, very nice. But overall, wasn't for me. That's just me, though. So with that said, thanks for watching. Take care, everyone, and we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye for now.